So today I'm driving up to meet my co-listing agent Anthony Guthmiller at this new amazing listing that we've co-listed with Mauricio Umansky. One of the most interesting properties I think I've ever seen in Pasadena. Certainly from an architectural standpoint, we've been getting it ready. I'm gonna go up and check on the progress, and we're gonna hear a little bit of history on this property from Anthony's standpoint, who was a good friend of the family and understood why it was built, how it was built, and for what reason. So looking forward to seeing this. Check it out, see how it's coming.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, every time I come here, this property is just so interesting, and there's so much history here that it's just, you know, really, really great to look at.
It's amazing that the fact that it's still in the state that it was when they built it.
Yeah, well, you knew the family here for a long time. You're familiar with them, so
absolutely.
Tell me about the story of which is this house, and then we'll talk about the other one.
So they bought this house in the late 60s. It was built in 1954 by Thornton Ladd. He actually built the house for his mother. Our clients actually bought it from him in the late 60s.
So I can't help but notice that there's a pathway over there, which is all glass there. Was that an addition? That was done separately, right?
Yes, they converted the garage to a guest suite. So they even used vintage materials so it looked like it was part of the house. And even this porch, they added this porch on, so you had this indoor-outside, indoor-outdoor feel.
Yeah, one of the advantages of this property is just, from the first time I saw it, it's just all the privacy that you have here. So let's check out that master bedroom, shall we?
Oh, I love this master
bedroom.
This
is one of my favorites.
Adelaide and Alex Hickson are the people who bought this house. She always believed that the key to a good relationship was separate bathrooms. So this was the husband's, and this was hers, of course.
Why do I think I just want a martini when I'm in here, right?
Exactly. Well, in the Roman tub, where does that door open to? You could literally take a shower with the view of the ocean.
Well, and people also have a really nice view of you.
Exactly.
Hopefully you have some confidence.
Exactly.
This is an unusual shape for a pool, isn't it?
Double the size of a regular pool.
Right, almost square, you know, it's very interesting.
Yep.
And what is the story behind that Japanese garden? I know that there was a really interesting story about that, right?
The gardener who actually designed that took care of that his entire life. But he literally designed it and took care of it his entire life.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool.
All right, let's go check out the other bedroom. You know, one of the first times that I came to this house, one of the things that I noticed was these built-ins. Yeah. I mean, this is just not normal. You know, these are so amazing, and I'm super glad that they were able to preserve them.
So let's go in this other, what they used to call the pond room.
These people were involved, you know, internationally, right, with embassies and what have you. And one of the interesting things about this bathroom is the wall that's behind here. Right. Tell me a little bit about that, and what's the story behind it?
One of the things that is really special is when you come into this, you'll see all of the invitations from the embassies. He was the ambassador to Sudan and the South Pacific. So when you're looking in here, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Kojo Botio, 1964. It's Monday, the 14th of September, 1964, 6:30 to 8 p.m., the Ambassador Hotel. So they...
You know, when you've got enough invitations that you can fill up a wall, you're doing something right. You know? So, you know, along those lines, you know, these folks used to entertain a lot, right? And although this was their primary residence, at some point, I know they bought the adjacent house, and they ultimately decided to build quite an amazing property. Right. They commissioned A. Quincy Jones, and really strictly for events, right? So, obviously, when you look at this entrance, you clearly see something that is not, you know,
of this world,
number one, exactly. Or that you see every day. And certainly, you know, it's Pasadena, it's not something that we see every day here.
Not at all.
Right? I remember the first time I came in here, walking through those front doors is quite amazing. These lines in this house are just so interesting. You can see everything, but nothing sees you.
Everyone who knows A. Quincy Jones, he was a protege of Joseph Eichler, but he became known for this roof line, and that's the thing that's really cool that I love about this house is how that angle matches the angle of the stairwell down into the lower level.
You can clearly tell that they built this specifically for hosting events. I remember there's a story about Adelaide and how she used to kind of ghost her own parties,
right.
In the middle of the parties,
right.
and go home and the party would continue.
Right.
They never really lived in this property, right? Nope. They really spent most of their lives over there, and this was really strictly for events.
That's correct. They never lived here, and that's the funny thing is that ghosting, before it was even known as ghosting.
She may have been the one who created it.
She maybe did. Well, she may still be here ghosting as we speak.
This is one of the cool things.
The dumbwaiter.
Like, the dumbwaiter. So for sure, and especially when you look at the kitchen, that this is built for entertaining.
Yeah, the kids used to say they would sneak in there and get lowered down because this is where they would put the canapes. And
Anthony, I think that's a good idea. Why don't we try
You try it. After you.
All right, let's go down, because this...
So the fun part of
cool.
this is this used to be the swimming pool of the house that was torn down.
And that's why they did the blue carpet, right?
That's why they did the blue carpet.
One of the things I like the most about this property is the vantage point from here, looking up. Unlike any other house in Pasadena that I've ever seen.
The other fun part about this is that you have the indoor-outdoor koi pond.
How's this for a fireplace? My goodness.
Yeah, exactly. But this is where they would have drinks. This room was the cocktail hour.
I want to know about the parties, because can you imagine what they must have been like here?
I can tell you about one.
The events, the parties, my goodness.
So they had to put a sign on the bathroom because after several cocktails, the guests couldn't figure out how to get out of the bathroom.
They'd get stuck. Yeah.
They would get stuck, so they had to literally put a sign on it to open, press firmly.
Press firmly.
Because if the wall is all in the vintage wallpaper, it'd be like, where in the hell is the door?
Yeah.
So that was the fun of this. Some of the fun things that they did.
Hey, listen,
after this room.
You haven't lived a little until you get stuck in a bathroom at least once, right? I think most impressive things about this house, obviously, is the architecture. But aside from that, I've seen a lot of houses in Pasadena that have views. None like this one. Oh, yeah. This is really amazing. Should we check that out?
Yeah. I never get tired of the view.
No, not at all. Yeah, it's interesting. You come in the front door here, and you see this great big open space. And then as you go over to this corner, you're immediately captivated by this
That's where you're drawn to.
Glass. And you go, what in the world is this? And one of the interesting things about it too is that there's this little ledge, along the perimeter.
Let's go.
And A. Quincy Jones built doors on both sides. People could actually go stand out there. That's crazy.
Yeah, like this.
I'm going out this way. You're looking all the way up to JPL. Yep. You've got the Rose Bowl. You can literally see the game if there was.
This is spectacular. The view of what you have from this angle up here, you're on top of the world.
Well, thank you very much for all the information.
Absolutely.
Know the house and
of course.
Excited about the listing.
Let's do this.
But it's always good to get some of these details. What a great story.
Yeah. Good.
Awesome. Thank you.